Hey, today I'm going to show you how to make free organic fertilizer for your garden. No chemicals, just natural ingredients straight from your own yard. I start by collecting weeds like these wild sunflowers right here. We also take the tops off of our perennial onions occasionally. And comfrey is a fantastic powerhouse plant full of minerals. So we use that as well. And we happen to have chicken manure, so we use that in the mix also occasionally. But if you don't have it, it's okay. You just use what you have on your property.
Hey everyone, my name's Adrian with May's Homestead Chronicles, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade fertilizer with no synthetic chemicals. You can make it right on your property. You don't have to source it from another country, which is amazing. So we've gone and we've taken all these weeds from our garden. Just different, there's all kinds of different things in here. I've got comfrey leaves, I've got some wild sunflower plants in here, little seedlings, and wild carrot, all types of stuff that have different nutrients to offer, okay? And then we've got our chicken manure. We're just using what we have on our land. If you don't have chicken manure, that's okay. You just use what you have. So we're gonna go with the weeds first, and we're gonna kind of, as we put them in, just kind of breaking them up. That's gonna make more surface area to be able to, for the water to be able to absorb more of the nutrients quicker. Toss that all in there. I've even got some onion greens in there that I cut and thrown in. And then we're gonna toss manure in here. And the last thing we're gonna grab is a handful of our homemade compost. So a handful of homemade compost, or a couple handfuls, dump that in there. And then we're taking the rainwater that we've gathered. So now we've got about a half a bucket of our materials. We're gonna fill the rest up with the water, okay? So go ahead and pour in your water. All right, so once that's full, we're letting that sit for at least a week, minimum of a week. Then after that week, we can use it in our garden. I'll show you how we're gonna drain out or sift out the big chunks of materials and just have the liquid, okay? The longer the better, but minimum 1 week. All right, so I was about to go ahead and throw my scraps in my compost pile as a regular daily routine. And what I was going to show you is, if you have scraps or you're collecting scraps, you can take those scraps, just some of it, and you can throw that into that fertilizer bucket as well. So we've got like apples, we can throw an apple core in there. We could throw some eggs. I've got some asparagus and some more green onions there. So we can throw that in there as well for more nutrients.
With this second batch, what I want to show you is that there's just so many ways to go about this. And the main thing is diversity. And what I mean by that is getting as many different plants as possible, as many different plant species. And so we're just going around the garden getting these different perennial weeds, and they all have awesome nutrients to offer. Like this one right here, my daughter's pulling up, is some type of wild lettuce that comes up every year. And so that's what we're doing. And we take a bucket around too as well, and just to be able to carry that with us as we go. This plant right here comes up every year, and it's called pokeweed or poke salad, and it makes some really good liquid fertilizer as well. Another thing that you can add to the mix is leaves. Leaves are fantastic as a carbon material. It's very similar to a compost pile, how you have your nitrogen and your carbon ratio, which is beneficial to the bacteria. In the same way, it's beneficial to the bacteria inside your liquid fertilizer. So right here, I'm just chopping up the weeds to smaller bits and creating more surface area. This allows the water to absorb those nutrients quicker and more efficiently. Another thing I'd like to show you here is how we're using different size containers. So you can use a 50-gallon drum. This is, I think, a 20 to 25-gallon drum. We've got 5-gallon buckets we use. I really like this 20 to 25-gallon drum. It's a really nice size. But yeah, the bigger the container, the more you can hold in it. And just make sure that you have a lid that you can also put on there. But right here, she's just adding in the leaves, and on top of those weeds. And then we're going to be adding water and filling the rest of the container up with water. And she also adds compost here in a second. This is optional, okay? It's only gonna benefit it and make it even more rich and nutritious, but it's not something you have to have. If you don't have it, that's okay. I've made it without it before many times and had much success with it.
Ready?
And like I mentioned earlier, a lid is great to keep the bugs and the flies out. So we made it been about a week now. So I've got me a bucket here. You can come over here, we can show them a little closer. So here's the inside, and what you'll notice is that the material will start to break down and kind of dissolve, and when that happens, your water starts to drop as well because those materials aren't as big. So you can just put a little bit more rainwater in there if you want, like this. So there's two ways you can do this, and one, as far as using the fertilizer, one is that you can take it as is, and we can just dump it into our watering can here. And we won't put the showering head on there, because if you put the shower head on, then it'll get clogged up from all the stuff that's in here. So there's that option, or we can filter it through and not have any of those pieces in there. So let me show you that. All right, so as far as filtering out the bigger chunks and stuff, you can use a burlap bag like this, or you can use a canvas cloth. Canvas cloth is a little easier to come by in local stores, but we happen to have this burlap bag. So I'm gonna use it and I'll show you how it works. So you just open it up like this, throw it over your bucket, just like that. And then you take your other one here and start pouring it in. All right, so all this stuff right here that got left in there is really good stuff. You're gonna take that and put that into your compost pile. Got lots of great nutrients for your pile. All right, so see here what all the material that it caught. Take that off now. Now we've got this awesome compost tea, or liquid fertilizer, whatever you like to call it, but it's all organic, no chemicals. What I like to do is like a 50-50 ratio. So we're gonna pour it in here. I'm gonna go halfway. So there's about halfway. You could even do like a 75-25 ratio. And we're just gonna fill the rest up with rainwater here. All right, one other thing I will tell you that I didn't mention earlier is that it will stink a little bit. That's normal, don't worry about it. But it works great as a fertilizer for perennials and annuals. So we got like a little fruit tree here. I'm just gonna give it a little bit right here, the base. Now I'm gonna show you the 25 to 75 ratio, where we're just gonna pour a quarter of the amount down at the bottom of this little watering can here. And now we're gonna fill the rest up with water. Alright, so we're gonna fill the rest up with just well water. Alright, now we're gonna water some more perennials. These are our blackberry bushes. It's a great way to boost these plants and help with even more fruiting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, I highly encourage you to start today and make your own homemade organic fertilizer. It's so easy, so effective, and it's sustainable. It's something you can make right on your property, and you don't have to rely on other people to do it for you.